joining us. We are going to be talking about high school honors and ways to dive deeper into the math and a little bit of growth mindset in there with it. I'm Rachel Main. I'm one of the secondary math specialists, and I taught at Churchill High School before being a math specialist, and taught 4 years in Connecticut as well. So I did teach some what we call now honors courses in high school. Particularly, I taught it as a geometry teacher. So some of the things we're going to talk about are things that I've seen other teachers use, or new strategies I've learned since that time. It is only a 45-minute session, so we won't be able to get super deep into all of it, but hopefully kind of trigger some thinking in showing you some new ideas. So our learning target for today: I can determine a way to cultivate a classroom environment centered around student success in an honors class. And to get there, I can describe the attributes of an honors class. I can explain the difference between breadth and depth. And I can describe the connection between growth mindset and student success. So I'm going to send out a poll right now, and I want you to, on a scale of 1 to 5, you're going to select how confident you feel with that learning target. So the poll should come up on your screen. Awesome. So most of you are fairly confident, or are looking to gain some more understanding and some more confidence with developing the culture that is really particular to an honors class, that would set it different than other classes that students are in. We're going to retake that same poll at the end. So I'm going to take a picture of that, actually, because I don't know if it saves it or not. But we'll take that same poll at the end and see if we can kind of grow that confidence a little bit. So we're going to do a lot of discussing and sharing ideas in this. What I'm going to have you guys do, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat to an idea boards. I want you to describe an honors student. So when you think of a student sitting in an honors class, how would you describe them? What characteristics do they have? What attributes do they have? Or just overall, when you think of an honors student, what do you think of? Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. So, in this chat, if you have never done an idea boards before, which I think everybody did in the last session, just hit the little green plus sign, and that's how you can grab a sticky note and then type on that.
Oh, there it is.
You can add as many sticky notes as you want. Once you hit it once, you can just hit the plus again and you can add on to a different one. If you like what someone has shared, you can click in the little left-hand corner there and it'll show like a quote unquote like on that. So just reading through those comments, I have to say, some of my favorites, always eager for something new. I agree. I mean, I think even if you only have a handful of students that are really eager and want to be pushed, that spreads and it has a ripple effect and other students start to see that. And so I agree, I would describe an honor student that way. And also they're usually overwhelmed with their workloads. I think at the highest level, they can become very overwhelmed with the amount of coursework required for a lot of AP courses and honors classes. So if you haven't had a chance, read through all of those. But I really like those responses there, what you guys said about how you would describe an honor student. So now what I want you to do is, this is another site. This is called Mentimeter. And I'm gonna drop this link in the chat for you. You're gonna have 3 words to describe what an honors class is not. So now instead of the student, we're focusing on the class itself and what it is not. So something to describe it not. And I'm gonna present on my screen, so once you answer that, we can see all the responses come in. And it should be a word cloud. So the link is in the chat, or you can go to menti.com and use that code. So I'll give you one more minute to share your responses of what an honors class is not. And if you have, you can look over at the Zoom screen and see if you're familiar with a word cloud, or if you're not. It looks like quite a few of you have responded. It is not boring, which is good, right? I mean, we don't think it's boring anyways. It's not basic and it's not easy are quite popular responses as well. Not worksheet based. Not remedial.
When I said not boring, I was actually talking about myself. I wasn't talking about the students. I mean, seriously. Sometimes you can get bored teaching classes. I mean, but honors classes are not typically boring. The kids are very interesting kids. Someone in there is interesting.
They keep you on your toes with the questions that they ask typically too, right?
Yes, yes. You look forward to them. You do.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so since we talked about that, let me see if I can get out of this now. There we go. We are going to take a look at, since we talked about, you know, what an honors student, how we would describe an honors student and what an honors class is not, I wanted to share an example of a math problem. So this is an Algebra 1 based problem, and I'm going to have you guys work on this. Are you familiar with Open Middle?
Yes.
Awesome. If you are not, Open Middle is a math site that has problems that look like this. It is the concept itself, it's called Open Middle because it has a closed beginning, meaning it all has the same starting point, and it has a closed end. Most problems end at the same answer. There are a few problems that ask for the best result or just any result. So some of them have an infinite amount of answers. Most of them do have an optimal answer to them, but they have an open middle, meaning students can approach these problems using any strategy that works for them, and they can approach it in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to have you guys try this open middle problem in Google Jamboard, and I'm going to have you work for about 8 minutes on it. And while you're working, I want you to think about what it feels like from the student perspective of working on this and how a problem like this could help develop some of those skills that you said an honors student is and what an honors class is.